Luke chapter 19. Jesus enters the city of Jericho and encounters Zacchaeus, a wealthy tax collector, who is short in stature. Because of the crowd, Zacchaeus climbs a sycamore tree to get a better view of Jesus. And Jesus notices him. He calls him down and invites himself to Zacchaeus' house. The crowd murmurs, criticizing Jesus for associating with a sinner. However, Zacchaeus expresses repentance, declaring that he will give half of his possessions to the poor and repay anyone he has wronged 4 times over. Jesus responds that salvation has come to Zacchaeus' house, emphasizing that the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. Jesus tells a parable about a nobleman who goes to a distant country to receive a kingdom. Before leaving, he gives 10 of his servants a mina, or is it pronounced mina, which is a sum of money. I'll stick to mina. So he gave his servants a mina each and instructs them to invest it until his return. Upon the nobleman's return, he calls the servants to account. The first servant has earned 10 minas, and he is rewarded with authority over 10 cities. The second servant, he's earned 5, and is rewarded with authority over 5 cities. However, the third servant has done nothing with it, and he is reprimanded. The parable concludes with the nobleman saying that those who do not want him to rule over them, they will be punished. Jesus travels toward Jerusalem, and he sends 2 of his disciples to fetch a colt. They bring the colt, and Jesus rides it into Jerusalem, fulfilling the prophecy from Zechariah 9:9. As he enters the city, a large crowd spreads their cloaks on the road and praises God, shouting, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord." Some Pharisees in the crowd tell Jesus to rebuke his disciples, but Jesus replies that if they were silent, the stones would cry out. Jesus weeps as he approaches Jerusalem, lamenting that the city has rejected peace and will face destruction because they did not recognize the time of God's coming to them. Upon entering the temple, Jesus drives out those who are selling animals and changing money, declaring that the temple is meant to be a house of prayer, but has become a den of thieves. Jesus teaches daily in the temple, and the religious leaders seek to destroy him, but are afraid of the people's reaction. The story of Zacchaeus highlights Jesus' mission to seek and save the lost, emphasizing repentance and restitution. The parable of the 10 minas teaches about using one's resources wisely and being faithful in service to God. The triumphal entry makes Jesus' public declaration as the Messiah and the fulfillment of prophecy. Jesus' weeping over Jerusalem and his cleansing of the temple reflect judgment on the city for its rejection of God's message. In this chapter, Luke shows both the compassion of Jesus for individuals and his prophetic condemnation of the city of Jerusalem for rejecting God's offer of peace.